Nice one, Amy. Time to jog on with the papers then. And what is making news today?
Well, I was going to call attention, really, to one of the silliest photographs I've ever seen, never mind the story, is that poor David Miliband, who yesterday I heard on the radio ducking and diving to try and avoid, you know, any suggestion that he might want to be Prime Minister or indeed head of the Labour Party. And then the most unfortunate. Have we got the photograph?
Let's bring it up and have a look at it.
Well, there are two. There are actually.
It's the little one there. It's that face, isn't it?
And then there's another one of him clutching a banana, and you think, hang on, how did you think that the newspapers were not going to be following you today?
He is Mr. Bean. He is Mr. Bean.
It was the other one that was Mr. Bean.
Oh, no, but look at him. He's Mr. Bean.
He's also, it turns out, for about the last couple of years, this is how I'm cutting edge of current affairs. I come out of my house, I walk past the pub.
Who's your next door?
OK, and I keep seeing these armed policemen everywhere. I think, oh dear, heavy. There's probably some evil drug dealer in the place selling crack to kids. It's Miliband's house. That's where he lives. He's about 100 yards from my front door.
Is he an evil drug dealer?
No! No! He's Mr. Bean!
Oh.
Mr. Bean needs armed protection.
Yeah. So there we go.
But,
so
you know,
be
in
nice
this celebrity-obsessed world and all the rest of it, I think that photograph could condemn his chances.
Oh, I think...
Would you vote for him as Prime Minister?
No favours at all.
The banana one or that one?
Either, actually.
Oh, God.
That one's pretty grim, isn't it? Oh, that one, it's almost too close to cool, isn't it?
Suddenly, Gordon looks commanding and
you can hear the advisor, can't you, in the background saying, just remember to smile.
Yes, and we're all friends. And the point of it being, he's saying, I won't do a Heseltine, which refers to Michael Heseltine's sort of famous conference speech when he basically said, I'm going to get rid of you all, I'm going to be leader, I'm going to run the country, and then didn't, failed miserably, and we got John Major.
Yes.
That went well.
It was all part of a cunning plan.
Yes, but to put Labour in power. OK, anything else?
There's an interesting one in the Telegraph claiming that ethnic pupils eat a healthier diet than white kids, which I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this, which I thought was absolutely... I thought it was terribly interesting that the ethnic families are producing proper food, basically, and the white kids are eating junk.
It's got the ring of truth to it.
Asian children of Asian descent, children of Far Eastern descent are all outperforming white boys, white working-class boys in schools. It's interesting because they've retained so much of their culture from home and work ethic and so forth, and it's interesting the food comes with it as well, I guess.
Absolutely. It's a whole sort of
I went to a school, Westminster Academy, last week, and they've got this posh restaurant for the kids. All these academies do, and they painted in big letters all the different dishes, because it's something like 95 nationalities at this school, and it does read like a sort of gourmet restaurant, you know, Middle Eastern, Asian food, you know, fusion. It's fantastic.
It's interesting, the whole idea of integration, though, isn't it? Because we always say that everyone should be integrated. But yet, in cultures, you know, that have come and have stuck with their own culture, you know, living in Britain happily, but stuck with their own culture, it seems now that there are very positive things coming out of that for them in the, you know, a food culture, but also work ethic, value systems, etc., etc. Maybe you shouldn't dilute cultures too much and make everything a big melting pot, because you lose your way.
But also that all the cultures have something to offer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's another interesting thing. Another interesting thing it says is that the kids learn to eat properly from an early age, and therefore that goes on. So they're creating a whole generation of healthy eating. Whereas, you know...
But it's also fascinating. You go to places like India, developing countries that are developing now very, very fast, and the wealthier Indians queue up for your Kentuckys and your McDonald's.
I was about to say, because it's a two-way street. We're giving them McDonald's, they're giving us healthy food.
Who's the winners and losers in that one? OK, let's move on to your next one.
Well, this is rather a dear story. This is, I'm going to try and pronounce his name properly, David Mawanaka, who is one of only 2 black farmers in Britain. I know, sorry, the mugs keep getting stuck to the table. We're all going...
There we
go. He keeps being stopped by the police because the police get reports that there's a black man stealing maize.
Right.
And he has to produce his you know, ID and everything and prove that he is really what he says he is. And he's been absolutely adorable about it. Rather than getting up on his high horse and accusing everyone of everything, it says if it was the same person calling the police each time, that would be racist. The police haven't told me who has been making the reports, but I suspect people have just become concerned because they're not used to seeing a black man in this area.
I reckon it's the Jolly Green Giant. That's my theory.
Did you know that the other black farmer in Britain is a Tory party candidate in the next election?
That's a fascinating fact, Ed. There's only one other black farmer in the country.
Well, I thought that's what Samantha
trades
said.
under the name The Black Farmer.
Yeah.
He sells sausages.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, OK.
But I really liked the calmness of, you know,
Yeah.
anyone could have gone, oh, stop harassing me, and he hasn't. He's just gone, well, I'm doing something quite unusual.
Good, good,
So
good
we
for
liked him a lot.
And one last one for you?
The last one, which just struck me as a bit absurd, frankly, and it's a report in the Mail about how babies are born with an ear for music. And this is apparently new scientific research says that, you know, if you tap a rhythm out to a baby or if you sing to a baby, even when it's asleep, it will respond. And I don't quite know how this is news, given that we were all given rattles at 3 months old and went, because that's what babies do.
Yeah.
So how is...
Are they saying this is before you're born, sort of unborn?
No, this is I think, newborn babies responding to music. And you want to say, well, yeah, duh. I mean, it's like we all know now that they hear things in the womb and that, you know, they know your voice because they've heard your voice, they know your husband's voice. So I was just a little bewildered.
What's the date on that newspaper? Yeah. 1958.
Nintendo.
Yes.
Nicely done, Samantha. What have you got, Ed?